Hello everyone, SpeeDMan here. We are back with part 3 of our Let's Learn Civilization 6 Brazil run. So, in today's episode, we are going to go ahead and continue development where we left off for our core infrastructure. So this is going to be an example of a tall gameplay build since we do not have the means. So if we press the 4 number here, or if we just go to lenses to settler, delete that. All the red here means we cannot settle there. We can settle here, but all these places to settle would not be viable because of loyalty losses, loyalty issues, same kind of thing. And there aren't any places here. This isn't a prime example of a place you do not want to settle if you're anything but, the Gaul Empire here. We also press 9. This goes to our Empire view. Same thing. If you click on lenses, go to Empire, and you'll see adjustments here. So key thing is we have very high adjacency bonuses in place here for all of our cities and that have campuses. This campus is in the works. This is good. We're going to go ahead and get the theater square placed down early. That way we can lock in that value. The less expensive it is, the better. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to save some gold. We're going to not worry about the walls. That's not a problem. This city will grow in a turn. What we'll do is we are going to place a theater square here. That'll be a +4 theater square right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. We'll make sure that tile actually owns that. So let's see here. So we will wait till next turn to shift ownership of that tile since it's being actively used right now. Not a problem. You could just shift it over one and that'll be fine. Could also shift it over here. So no issue at all. So one thing that we want to do is we're going to want to make some deals with anybody that has rather a great work of writing, and that way I can gain a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll go to you, and then any gold that I can get out of this, perfect. Going to go to you, and the reason I am kind of pointed with what I'm doing here strategically is I had a previous recording that that failed because the game crashed. So I got a little further than this, so I kind of have a specific process in place. So we'll go here. That's 13 per turn. What we are going to do is give you 35. But bring that down to 4 gold per turn. No problem. May even bring that down to 30. And boom. And that works out fine. That way, I'm now immediately getting 4 more culture per turn. So that's a huge bonus, right? So now what I'm going to do is now amplify that bonus more by looking at how much gold per turn you have. So you have 12 available, and I'm going to wait a little while. I want to wait till you have a bit more gold. That way I could take advantage of that because you probably have some trade deals here that you're doing that you are very low on gold per turn. And you overvalue, you meaning Catherine de Medici, overvalue diplomatic favor. So I want to take advantage of that, where I want to make sure that she's got plenty enough gold per turn. That's really bad. That's actually the worst RNG I could get. That is physically terrible RNG. Wow. Yes, that becomes a really good tile, but that's really terrible. That kills a lot of momentum. So yes, that happened. What I'm going to have to do is we're going to have to navigate now through this. So first things first, we need that commercial hub back, and we also need that university. That's 6 gold. That's 6 science per turn that we just lost for 4 turns. So that's 24 science that we just lost. It's a lot. That's unfortunate. We're just gonna have to make do, unfortunately. That sucks. You know, that actually is very bad. That's one of the worst things to have happen, and definitely not ideal. I'm gonna take you over here. And I want to move you all the way down to where you can get to about here. And you're going to change from a dam into a mine. Or honestly, I could leave that as a flex option. Could be whatever we need it to be. We're going to go lumber mill and lumber mill. I have a couple lumber mills here. That's perfect. That's good. We are going to want to have Chichen Itza over here. It's going to give an additional +2. So that'll turn into a +6. That'll turn into a +5. Because once that's built, that's going to provide more bonus. I have as much production as I have available. I could boost my production. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to unlock that, and that's going to help my tile grow a little faster and just help that city along. Going to remove walls. I don't have a need for walls in the lower cities here. Rome hasn't created a major threat yet, so that's no problem. Yep, so city center stuff ending soon. That's why I was focusing on walls, because the walls, basically, I could build very, very cheap in production, or cheaply in production value, which is good. Unfortunately, a lot of that need right now is kind of subverted. The city isn't going to really need it. His military isn't really strong, and I could fend it off with these cities bringing troops over, so that's no problem. What I'm going to need to do is really this particular episode focus heavily on getting trade routes up and running. I want to end this episode ideally by having a good, 3 or 4 trade routes. I will be having, well, another trade route soon once I, repair this market and the commercial hub that got destroyed by terrible RNG. It's pretty unfortunate. It's really not what we were looking to have happen. Yeah, that sucks. It is what it is. Now that's 3 turns away. That is going to get done with the feudalism civic. So now I transition from the stirrups, going to go into sailing for a turn. Then I'm going to go into engineering. And I'm going to get some surplus science from this. So that'll reduce that to 1 turn. So that's no problem. That way, those 2 get done. And also at the same time, once stirrups gets done, pastures are going to get better. What I'll do is then I also, because this is going to be pretty delayed, it does also mess up the timing for me ideally wanting to get a builder going, is what it is. So in this case, this guy's just going to keep moseying his way over there. Just work on over, get over there as soon as you can. The earlier he explores areas, the earlier you can discover other city-states and other cities, or in this case, civs. That city-state has been defeated. Good, so that's 2 turns out. Watermill's underway, perfect. I do want to now, at this stage, go ahead and swap that tile. Since I lost that pop anyways, I'm not going to be able to make use of that. That's a super high production tile, well, super high food and very good production. So yes, having all of this damage done, but at least it gave me the silver lining is at least it gave me something. Like my city here has, with the improvements that it has, let's see here. That's 5 food, and that's not bad. You know, 1 production, it's okay. Um, Fortunately, a lot of those things we lost are just a series of damages that slow us down. So that's no problem. But the added food that is going to give us a lot of tempo in the long game as a benefit to subvert, you know, or not subvert, but to make up for the losses of having, you know, this much damage done to us. Because that sucks. You know, that's a huge loss of efficiency that just happens. You know, it is what it is. We're also going to want to go ahead and consider putting down a government plaza here. So that'll probably place it from Sao Paulo and put it with that city. Because then what we could do is we can develop a few things. You know, we can develop as we go through the government plaza tree. So let's see what we can do here is we'll first get our probably ancestral hall, and then we will likely go into intelligence agency, and then we'll probably go into foreign ministry. Getting more diplomatic favor is very useful. Um, those are all things that help. You know, city states, if I am in a situation of wartime, at least I have the option to leverage or levy, you know, city state usage. So that's beneficial. So there's some positives out of all that negative that just kind of devastated part of my empire's growth. Perfect. You have plentiful amount of gold per turn. It's 29 gold per turn. It's a pretty excellent amount. And that's 10, 12, 8 gold per turn. So that'll put me 37 above that. So 128 gold per turn. Okay, so good engineering is done. I will want to I can actually eventually develop some of these guys. Ooh, nice. So Taruga and Eureka for castles. Let's see, how tough is that one going to be for me? Thought the government was 6 inherent policy slots, so it's not going to happen for a little while. We're not really in a good position for that yet. That's going to take, let's see, if I were to click on this. So it's 19, 13, so it's 32, 47, 49, and 53, 54. So that's 54 turns basically it would take for that, and that's not really, it's not really going to be pretty good for us at all. So I'd rather go into this, into that. The Chichen Itza here, it's going to provide me so much more of a benefit. And the reason is so that way when I get that, that's going to give me a lot more culture per turn. Because going, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then maybe I could pick that one up, you know, and maybe a couple of these up, and that'll be very beneficial. So all is not lost. Let's see here. So nothing really inherently beneficial here. Most of the stuff is all kind of more relevant for a military run. So not really beneficial. What I could probably do though is probably look at what options I have in the middle tree. So eventually getting a couple harbors wouldn't hurt. So I can go ahead and in the meantime, you know, I can work on some of this other stuff here that's going to provide me some pretty large benefits. So 130 gold per turn. Next turn, I'm going to go ahead and buy the amphitheater and then make an emphasis on picking up from Trahan another great work of writing. So that's perfect. So in Rio, we're going to pick up the amphitheater. Go to Tron. We're going to go to you, give you open borders, 30, this and that. It's going to add some value on top of this. So let's see here. That's 5 gold per turn. That's actually not as bad because I can gain. Goes down 16. So if I give him 15, goes down to 10. That's fair because a lot of this stuff, like, see, I'm going to, by the time that value is taken, I'm going to get that back pretty quickly for that. 15, that's, in 8 turns, I'm back up to where I would have been there. Diplomatic favor 30, that's 15 turns out, but at the same time, I have now 8 more culture than I did before. So instead of being at 23 or 24, now I'm at 30, and that's a good position to be in. So astrology is done. We're going to go ahead and just work ourselves into celestial navigation. That way we can build a couple harbors later in the game and just have options for us to go through. Doesn't hurt to have it, and also just means so as I develop more of the city, I can actually do more with it. Because I can probably put a harbor here that'll have better adjacency, potentially. I could also do more with this. It'll just put me in an overall better position for growth tempo. So he's already, he's looking for something that's just not going to work. It's a terrible deal. It's actually it's kind of the similar situation as what he's like I'm trying to get through with Rome here, just trying to limit Rome's growth. Um, I I literally just got this from you, Rome. No. And I'm up to 34 culture per turn. See, like that's a good position. Now I'm actually closer to being competitive with culture. Um, Now that's done. It gets stirrups as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a dedicated focus on first with banking. And then what we'll do is we will consider potentially economics once we have some other things in place. Um, and then we'll be in a good position. Good. And this city, the market is done. So we are going to go ahead and look at, let's get a trader going. We need to just get those traders out earlier and earlier in the game. And if you're ever trying to get rid of notifications, an easy way is just right-clicking them. So, at Jerusalem, construct a harbor. I'm not going to be doing that for a little while, so not a problem. Um, so I'm not going to get that plus that added bonus for a little while, but okay. So that's all right. So let's go ahead and let's move you across here. So ideally, I would have wanted to go ahead and get that builder out. I can live without getting the builder out, so that way I can focus on the infrastructure repair and a couple other things. I need to get that market up and then get the trader. I need to get my core infrastructure going sooner than later. I would prefer to do that so that way I'm not leaving that till too late in the game. I can live without having the builder to get some of these other things built. That's not a problem. What is a problem is letting things go too long without getting basic infrastructure going. And that's going to bite us in the butt throughout the game if we don't make it a more of a focus on that growth. Our science is pretty close to competitive with the general average here, and it's not that late in the game. It's still pretty early, so that's good. The earlier we develop that, the better. No, I'm not going to war with anybody on my own terms here. So that could be problematic. So I need to make sure he's not going to declare war. Not sure which civ that is. That might be Saladin. I'm not sure. So Rio, you're going to go ahead and let's get a builder going or a trader going. Earlier we get those things going, the better. Um, I definitely want to get that theater square locked in sooner than later, though. So I may have to do a quick pivot here. So I'm going to wait one more turn. Just going to do military tradition for a turn. Get that knocked out of the way. And go back to doing some of this stuff here. Reason I want to do that is so that way I can go ahead and let's just spend a turn here. As much as I don't want to have to go back and forth too much, it's just unfortunately it's a position that we're kind of forced, that we have to, basically we're forced into. This city being at 6 population, I'm not too worried about it growing with another, getting like, for example, another district availability slot. It's not really a problem. Good thing is now I can go ahead and put on the traders or the builders get 2 charges. Also means that if a military issue comes at play, I can actually get a little extra bit once I have put some troops together. They can actually really help each other out. So here, the growth here is going to be important. I want to get this city a little faster, or get the city growing a little faster. Good, so Saladin is there. Going to ask for open borders. It's going to give me a pretty nice deal. Not a problem. So this is all salvageable. See, this is all still very much salvageable. I can still do a lot here, and this is still totally viable. It's not the end of the world. It's just, it adds, what it does do is unfortunately it just adds a layer of difficulty. I really wasn't wanting another, please don't please don't pillage my, oh, I just freaking repaired it. I just got done repairing it and you're gonna flood me again, bro. Come on, man. All right. So, as it turns out, apparently I have the crappiest RNG in the world right now. That's really annoying. That is actually annoying. I just fixed that up. That's okay. Okay. Well, I can't do anything about that. That is physically physically frustrating. That continues to hurt my tempo. That's the thing. So I'm gonna have to work really hard for this repair here. So what I want to do is bring that to Rio. That way we go across here. Now we have a trade route that cuts across. And this city, same thing, go to Rio. That'll help these cities grow, and the capital is going to be a strong capital. It's just going to continue to get destroyed every single couple turns because bad RNG. Um, Lovely. So, man, that is very painful. Okay, who has plenty of gold? Pachacuti. Let's make a deal. Would like raw gold. So let's give you 20 Diplo favor. It's really not enough. And that's livable. Try to bring me closer to 1,000. Yeah, unfortunately, that just sometimes when you get bad RNG, you're gonna get more than just bad RNG. Apparently, it just wants to hit you with a double whammy and just haymaker you in the face with two major floods, which you know is not really what I had planned. Because that's again another blow to my science output that I didn't need to have, but that's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and at this stage we're going to consider getting a builder started here. It wouldn't hurt to just have a couple 5-charge builders. Since we're going to go ahead and get impeded by this much damage constantly, we might as well just go ahead and just make a focused effort. This is too good of a tile to put a dam on, but the thing is that if there was a place that I could actually put it that would be good, that would be really beneficial. Because this entire river here would be very much nice to have the adjustment. So I'm going to go ahead, make a not a corporation, but an industry here. Then I'm going to shift here, harvest that, place down the tile, or place down the theater square. That'll be what we need for that. So let's go ahead and just push through that. Yeah, that sucks. Just unfortunately what can happen when, bad things go from bad to worse. But that's okay. So we're going to take the added gold production here. There may be another city-state or so here. Since he's down here, that means there may be another city-state. And it may not be a bad idea for us to learn about. There could be potentially a culture city-state that could actually be very, very nice for us to explore. We are at 970 gold, so we need 30 if we want to pick up something decent. Okay, now we just need 27 gold. Let's go 5. It's 3 gold flat. Let's do 10. 6 gold per turn. But then Saladin. I then need 8 more gold. So Perfect. We'll buy a university here. That's going to at least give us a little bit of tempo back, you know, the fight back. We are going to be getting that, so that's excellent. We'll be able to sell some of that stuff off. Wouldn't mind getting an envoy here and then picking up mysticism. So that way I can do a quick pivot and also pick up a little bit more science per turn from some of these other bonus or from some of these other sources. You know, getting a little more science per turn here and then getting a little more gold per turn. So that's going to be what I'm going to do for next turn. That's why I want to focus on mysticism. I'm making small little adjustments here because I know that's going to allow me to come back a little faster. Here, again, probably going to go trader just so that way I can get a trader sent down here and then set him up to maybe like one of these other cities. That way, at least again, you know, the more trade routes I have cutting through here, the more benefits I can gain from just having better infrastructure planning. So this is fine. This is fine. The world may be burning down, or in this case, flooding, but this is fine. I want you to go here. Perfect. I get a lot of gold here. An envoy is going to be very, very helpful. So I would actually rather have the envoy. There may be a great person by the time I actually get corporations like properly unlocked. There may be another great merchant that I'll have had at that point that's going to be more beneficial, like more of a great merchant that I could just build a corporation with versus a merchant that I can actually use their natural activated ability. So in this case, what we do is we're going to take this off for now. I'm going to plug this in, unplug that, and go back to Great Writer Points. And then we're going to go ahead and call that the ultimate point for us to start developing our city-state relations. So we're going to go 1 and 2 and the 1. And that'll put us at 3. So that's 3, that's another 3. And well, that's technically already there. That'll put us up to 3 from 0, and that'll put us up to 2. Then recruit a great scientist. I'll eventually be doing that. I'm in a good position to compete with the other civs on that, so this is good. Then all I have to do at that point really is, if I feel like I have to, what I'll do is so Gaul has spread himself pretty far, so he's got a very wide game here, which also means that he's got land. Saladin has got land there. Thank you. Delegation is always appreciated. I'm going to vote for myself here a second time so that way I can secure this. And then vote for myself on that. Good. So at least I got that. That's fine. And that means that new districts that I'm getting are going to be very, very nice. Just overall going to be very, very strong districts for me to work off of. So now what we'll do is we'll work on getting the library started here after we get our theater square. And that's going to act as a culture bomb. So that's actually going to give me that tile as well, which means I don't have to buy that. So I'm happy with that. That's good. So yeah, I did get that tile, but not a problem. So again, totally, this is all salvageable. You know, some losses that are kind of negligible in the grand scheme of it all, but are pretty large in the short term. So what we do here is just confirm that this is owned by the smaller city. Yes, it is. We'll get that. And now what we do is we get this and we plug this right here. It's +3 because that's being burnt, but that will come back. And then we cycle that out. What we want to do is we go ahead. I can live without having a 5 charge here. But just having a 3 charge kind of covers our needs in the current phase of the game, so that's fine. Plus, this will have that's, let's see, 3 charges, so that's 1, 2, and it's gonna have one more. So I technically have 4 charges available to me. So this is all fine. Not worried about that. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we can get this guy sent here. This would not be a bad tile to go ahead and farm instead of harvest. The reason is I'd rather farm here. I can gain more from just doing something like a farm. So that's fine there. Actually, I probably could have stayed there, but it's kind of blocked off and I don't want to waste a lot of time of not being able to move around and just cycle positions, so that's fine. We have plenty of housing. This is, of course, this is a 5 food tile. I mean, it's not bad. Those are not bad things, but they come at the cost of extremely large amounts of loss here. Like just one time losing all that tempo is bad. That is what it is. Losing it a second time is very much going to put us that puts us further behind where we want to be on target. We're coming back on science, so we're doing okay. We're still close to par where we want to be. It's a big setback from what I would have initially wanted. We do eventually have access to banking, so once this is done, I can get banks going. That's going to be good. Let's see here. That got finished. Perfect. What I want to do is go ahead. Let's make a farm that's going to add +2 food. That's a 3 food tile, so now I don't need to worry about food growth in the city so much. Now that covers our need. Let's see, yeah, I mean, a lumber mill would actually be pretty beneficial here. That would just really boost this tile into a much better state. So let's go ahead and just move there, get the production going. Let's see here. I wasted time, but I would like to see what's here. It looks like you just settle a city separately, or he has cities that are separate, which is kind of awkward for him. He's been surrounded, and I think they had a war with each other earlier. Yeah, they did have I'm pretty sure they had to have had a war or something happened between them. That's why they're kind of all, they denounced each other. So I have 4 available trade locations or trade routes. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to focus on getting guilds going as soon as possible. What we need to do at this point then, in this case, is look at ways that we can further develop this. So we're going to go back to getting our influence points up. That way you get +5. Just keep on utilizing that opportunity to grow. And then we're going to go ahead, and this is a good place for us to set there. We'll do that. Our banking, we are going to, that's not bad. Yeah, I may actually consider, instead of potentially going down like an oil route, may go down this to industrialization. And then, let's see here, I need to be a river on, let's see, along industrial zone, district with a factory. So, I mean, River Valley could actually go here. River Valley could go there. And then if I chop that and put down a theater square would be a +4 theater square, +5 actually. So that's an adjustment we can make that can be very beneficial. So that's a chop there that we can do, no problem. It's an actively worked tile, so yes, it's a tile lost in value, but that's just going to gain more value because eventually I can put a specialist there or something like that, or a specialist in a different area, like maybe in the industrial zone, and add a little bit more production. So all is not lost. All is not lost. Um, at this stage, what we probably want to consider is, you know, if we click on that, it's going to require some of these other things. So we could probably go down some of these trees, you know, on the top side tree. That way we got some good means of growth. Um, we'll eventually want to transition once we have this, you know, all the added bonus, you know, eventually, you know, having all that added bonus of production. We will want to eventually go into getting an oil plant and convert to oil power once we have an able supply or available supply rather. Right now, it's not really a concern, so not major thing to worry about. We do want to consider building another university. That's going to take long, so what I'll do is I'll just buy that outright with gold. Um, a good project is we'll go ahead and work on the bank. It's going to take a while, but I would rather work on that and then get the extra bonus in production here, then buy the university here. So that way, what that does is now it's going to provide me even more science per turn. Probably, I think, +7 science per turn, if I'm not mistaken, because of having the +7 or 8. So having that. So not bad. It's all workable. A lot of tempo lost here, but in the long term, we'll gain it back from just having some of those tiles fertilized heavily. We're going to go to you, and we're going to go ahead and get that going next turn. You, I want you to go ahead get the production further benefited. So this is a very awkward shape of an empire. So we're actually going to go back here. I don't want to overinvest more time. I already have plenty. Yeah, so I don't want to be anywhere near that. So we have 6 turns. We've already secured a normal age, so we're fine. We don't need to worry about the golden age this era. It's not that big of a deal. We do want to try to eventually, Leventa was defeated. That's going to likely end up getting converted uh, unless he puts a governor there. That's likely going to get converted into Rome, so that's only benefiting Rome most likely. Okay. So good thing is shipbuilding is done. So eventually later in the game, when we need some of those added, let's see here, you can go. Where do I want you to go? I mean, honestly, I mean, this could probably just, you could probably just go up to here. Sao Paulo. Oh yeah, in this city, buy that. We're up to 95 gold per turn, or sorry, 95 science per turn. Now we're just on par with where we should be. We're back on track. It's just what I want. So here in Sao Paulo, we are going to probably put something down for this city. That way we can really rapid charge our growth. So those will come back, and when they grow back, that'll give me those bonuses I was looking for. That'll go back to +6, so we're okay. Those will grow back. In this case, what we'll do is go to this bottom city. We're going to work that. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take you to here. And I want to bring you back. I want you to go up north. And preferably you go north here and explore what's around here. I'm sure there's another civ or something nearby there. This city, since you have the trader done, we'll go ahead and look at what our options are for. The settler is going to take too long, and plus there's nowhere really for me to settle that's actually decent. So we'll go ahead and we'll work commercial hub. The investment for the commercial hub. We'll get this, we'll get that great merchant. What really sucks is all the tempo lost of having the population lost multiple times really hurts us because that means all that time I could have been able to get that industrial zone built, and now I haven't been able to do that, and it's going to cost more. So that's where the loss is really going to kick me in the ass there. Unfortunately, it just is what it is. But this is kind of a build that we could work off of here. So that's why I want to focus on getting River Valley if I can help it. That'd be best case scenario of getting River Valley, because then this city will really continue to pop off. So I want you to go ahead and let's just work your way up here. You, um, Rio would be good. So a little gold. I mean, food's not a problem. Production is going to be more key. So getting a little bit of gold, maybe some science wouldn't hurt. So I do have a trade route along this route. So that's no problem. It cuts along the sea, so I'd rather have a land trade route. That would be a good one. That's 12 gold per turn, so it's not bad. Uh, Singapore is there. That's also another aquatic. I'll just go another internal. I'll do some more external trade routes once I have the city growth kind of settled in that I want. So this is totally workable. So we'll work from there. And I do want to finish the episode once I have this up because of the delay. I do want to get that done so that way it's out of the way and we have that necessary growth kind of taken care of and sorted out. Okay. Let's see here. So that's losing loyalty. He hasn't put anything into that city yet, so let's see what he does there. Perfect. So Rio has another trader. So what we'll do is from Rio, now we're going to go into another trade route somewhere further out. So maybe, we'll do a Lundi or something like that, but you want to be careful that Shaka doesn't declare war because he's going to get, actually, he's got a very small, he's at war with Macedon. Okay, that's fine. He's actually got a very small military, so it's not going to be a major threat at the moment. So we can actually take advantage of that and go ahead and get a little bit of stuff to help. I may leave this for the time being. I also just may harvest it. It's hard to tell which I'm kind of gravitating towards. Like food growth is pretty stunted right now, unfortunately. It's very stunted. So I do want to get Chichen Itza up and running sooner than later. The sooner I do that, the better. That's going to give me a good amount of food. That's going to give me one food, one production. That tile is going to turn into a 3-3, and a 3-3 tile is very well balanced. 5-1 isn't bad. And then, let's see here, next thing to move is we're going to take you up north. You or Pergant's going to go ahead and land here, and then we'll just, oh, do I want to harvest there, or... Yeah, actually, I may harvest it so that, because then I can put a commercial hub here, and a commercial hub will turn into a +3 commercial hub, so that's fine. I can gain more from having commercial hub there than nothing, so that's fine. Plus, it would give me a little bit faster great merchant tempo, because I'm the only person in this game so far focusing on great merchants, and that's a really good advantage. I'm already pretty competitive at the moment. Of course, having that card helps. And then eventually, once I get more of my theater scores up and running, I could really get my civic tree expanded upon. But 105 science per turn means we're in like upper mid ground where we need to be. The thing is that when you see civs in the early game, like have a very blown up amount of science and or culture, they are designed to have that, you know. That is a key point. I think I'm trying to remember. Oh, Potato McWhiskey said this at one point in one of his older videos where he was doing the, he was doing the kind of like save a game kind of situation where like to see whether or not certain like world saves that different people had that they had submitted were savable. And he talked about a key point that oftentimes, at certain points in the game, you're going to think you're really far behind. And because you have less science, less culture, and you're going to see, some civs that are way high. Sometimes you'll see civ at this stage of the game have like almost 200 science per turn, right? Or they'll have like 120 culture per turn. And yeah, that's a lot in the moment. But the thing is that you go through an exponential growth pattern. You continue to build more and more and more in a curve that goes up like this, whereas they get a curve that's really heavy and they kind of level off a little bit and they go like that. They can keep building. There's still a lot of growth in the AI, and you still want to make sure you limit that as much as you can by just ensuring they don't basically run away with the game. But you do want to position yourself in a way, and yes, I'm going to go for the bank there. But you do want to position yourself in a way that you can actually gain on them in the mid to late game. And that's really the goal here, is getting enough science per turn early on to get some of those techs done. And same thing with culture. Gold per turn is pretty good. 130 gold per turn is not bad. That's a good position for us to be in, because that means we could buy a university every 10 turns, or even less, actually, technically. Probably like 8 or 9 turns. What we'll do here is we will harvest. That's going to put us a few turns away from being able to put down commercial hub. A commercial hub here is going to be very powerful. I didn't mean to click you there. Weird misclick, but since you're going that way, since it's going that way, let's see here more. I would actually like to eventually take these tiles from this city to that city. Wait, is this the Salvador? Okay, so never mind. No, we're good. We're good. Okay, I just misread that. So this will probably go to like maybe like this city and just provide it with, potentially like another like lumber mill or something like that. Or what we'll do instead is we could take, we will take this, and since I need to go down anyways, let's just bring them left and we'll take them right here. And that way we could chop that tile. You don't have enough movement, so I want you to go ahead and just work your way around here, and that'll be good. All right. Good. So that city is finally, after 20 billion years of time, able to get something that is probably going to be more expensive than I would have wanted, unfortunately, just because of the delays, but it's fine. I'm going to use that chop actually to help kind of recover some of that time loss. So that's the first order of business, is get them over there quickly and then just chop that. And I'll save us a couple turns potentially. So that's okay. Commercial up investments giving us a little bit of extra gold. That's kind of keeping us buoyed up. Is there anything major that we can sell? It does not look like it from him. You just outright don't have. Wow, you, my dude, you are in a very bad position. You don't want to be at war with this many people because that's a lot of resources that you're having to invest into several different fronts. And his military is not really that big. Unless he's conquering those cities and making enough of like a dedicated effort based off his civilization or civ leader ability to be able to get his troops back, back to full health from capturing cities, that's not really going to be good. That's a lot. That's a huge loss in the long term if he's not able to recover that. Which is also, it's good for me. That's another person that's not going to be a competitor to worry about. 4 gold per turn. It's 1. And actually, you value this a lot, so 8 gold per turn. That is 10 gold per turn. That's good. And Rome. Another 10 gold per turn. Perfect. So that's a better position that we can work with. We can work with that. Okay. So we're just gonna have to work around, unfortunately. It's gonna be slow, but it is what it is. Hoping, we can maybe find a natural wonder and get this guy leveled up so I can get like either hills or rainforest, probably hills. Faster movement through hills, because just save a lot of time in the long run. So we have a decent amount of science per turn, or scientist points per turn. That's not bad. Uh, Eventually, once we actually start getting a decent amount of governor titles, we will take governor titles in Pingala. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and do that now. So we will point to you. And the city that I would like to point to is probably going to, let's see here, that's 26 science per turn. It's 30, 20 culture, 3. So you're going to go into the capital. And now you going to focus on Chichen Itza. It's going to take a while, but I'm going to first do that. And then eventually what I will do is basically get as many traders and just get a lot of traders and just pump traders out of this city so that way I can really max out as much value. So we got a normal age secured. That's perfect. Let's actually take a look for a second and see where others are at. So the Zulu Empire, they are in a dark age. Most of the other civs around us are in dark ages. And that's actually a really good thing. We're in a normal age. We're in a good spot. We don't need to worry about loyalty issues or pressure. And that is a core aspect of gameplay we always want to be focusing on. You want to make sure that you have, let's see here, what's his ability again? Free trader and also increases trade route capacity by 1. So it's a very powerful thing. What we want to do is then foreign trade routes to the city provide 2 gold to both cities. So let's bring you over here. And what's the next one? Trade routes and get an envoy. It's not a problem. Trade routes GCs gain plus 0.5 gold for each specialty district at the destination. That honestly isn't really good enough. Yeah, the envoy is nice, but I get more benefit from having another trader. So I'm going to take advantage of that. Now you actually are going to go here. I would like to get you to have a little bit more production. So what we'll do is we will look at our options here. That will give me, a few points throughout this entire era. So that's not really that big of a benefit. Specialty districts, I'm not going to have that many. This is probably going to be my best bet. Really just trying to explore as much land as physically possible. And I may consider buying a galley to just have it explore the ocean, explore the open seas as much as I can. This whole area here and the other areas around it, maybe there's another continent around here, somewhere that I haven't explored. There's a few other civs that I haven't met, and so that's going to be other points that I could be gathering from that. Again, I need to secure a normal age for the industrial era. So you're going to go here. Since we have guilds done, that's really good. That puts us in a better position to work off of. What we're going to do is we're going to now go ahead and consider getting exploration going. The good thing is because we pivoted a little bit here and there towards, like military tradition and, getting some other stuff done, we don't need to worry too much about other aspects of it. So we're in a good spot. Now that will be very nice to have. I'm going to actually go ahead and do that now, because what that's going to do is it's going to really effectively increase our overall output of culture per turn, because I can replace that. I'm not worried about the Great Writer points. I'm in a good position with that, and losing 2 points, that's okay. Because really what we can do is, that'll slow down a little bit, but just the overall culture gain is going to be solid. We're going to be closer to par with the adjacency bonus. So if we go to this, for example, that'll turn into +8, +12, and then another +8, so that's 28 right there. So let's say, and then we get, eventually once we have this up, that'll be +1, +2, +3, and so probably a +3 because of the 2. Then so let's see, that's 3, 4, 5. So yeah, that's +5, so 10. So basically 38 more culture per turn once this has been acquired. That's pretty damn good. That puts us much closer to in line with the competition. So open borders, pretty terrible deal. Not really benefiting me at all. I have no need for your open borders, and he's just using it as a bargaining port. Just like I would be if I were a player going against AI civs and literally just selling my open borders for free and just getting, free gold out of it. It's the same kind of gig, AI does stuff like that. You don't have to feel like you're obliged into those deals. Now I have a perfect opportunity to go ahead and get that set up. I will lock in that value. Now that I have access to, another amphitheater potentially to buy, I could do that. That's going to be 69 turns. It's going to take a long time. What we want to do is we want to find production. So we're going to go highest production available. And we're going to look and see, okay, food isn't a problem. Not worried about food growth. It's not a concern. What we want to do is probably get a little bit of gold and some other stuff. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And you're going to find that it's going to save a good bit of time on this, and that's what we're looking for. So you're going to just keep working your way up. It's going to take forever, of course, but it's just going to be important that we get up there. And this will be solid. Saladin, I hate to be the guy to break it to you, dude, but that's a scout. It's a scout. The scout's not doing anything that's going to threaten you, and plus, our cities are over here. Do you? I'm not sure why you would ever be alerted in that case, but this is perfect. So watch, 38. That's going to bring me up to about 60. Less. Okay, so let's take a look here. It's probably not, yeah, it's not showing up properly. So let's go ahead and cut that down. Saves a few turns here. 5 turns out from expanding again. Perfect. Then I can get the theater square here, and then theater square is going to be solid. This is pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Anyone that we can make gold off of? No. Who's got a good gold supply? Shaka's got a good amount of gold. Oh, I'm not trying to make a demand. You don't value that. You value that a lot. So let's give you 35. It's 10 gold per turn. Not bad. Let's give you all of it. Okay, that's fine. And then Pingala, you're going to go ahead and, since that's going to be 10, that's going to be an additional 10 culture per turn. Really just play off this added aspect of culture. Our science is competitive. We want to build our culture. We need to build that culture up so that we gain some more tempo. And then once we have that, you know, for example, like that'll turn into +4, or that'll turn into, yeah, 4. And then military training. Military training. What is that one? Build an encampment. So the next thing I can build in this city, once I get to, I think it's 13 population, is I'll probably go ahead and build an encampment just so I have an encampment. And that way I can protect, I can act as essentially an added mechanism of protection against the Zulu Empire if they decide that they would like to declare war. In the meantime, I think that's a very good stopping point. And thank you everybody for your watching. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And we will continue to try to put out these videos, you know, at least a video a day. And we will go from there. All right, everyone. Thank you for your time. SpeeDMan out.